Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great gaming day so far. I myself have a game of Marvel Champions under my belt, as well as a game of Machikoro Legacy with my wife and daughter. So, good day so far. This video is going to be a video of the top Kickstarters I'm looking forward to in 2020. I managed to keep the list pretty short, pretty low, not so much because there aren't things I'm looking forward to, but because I have a harder time saying I'm excited about a game if I don't know a lot about it. There are a bunch of games that almost received like honorable mentions on this list just because I was excited for them. But honestly, this week there were a few Kickstarters that I was excited for that I already lost interest in as soon as the campaign hit, for one reason or another. I lost interest in the Return to Dark Tower just because of the sheer price point attached to it, as well as the app involved. So that was previously on my list of being interested in, but I'm going to wait till it hits retail and see what happens with that there. Additionally, I was very interested in the Foundations of Rome Kickstarter. And again, I don't know what happened. I think maybe I'm just becoming a drop more conservative with the way I spend my money. But I took a look at the Kickstarter and I was like, I'll wait till it hits retail. So there were a bunch of other games that would have been in my top Kickstarters looking forward to, but if I don't know enough about them, I left them off. I took them off the list if I didn't have a genuine reason to be excited, past the fact that, oh, it's a Kickstarter, oh, it's from that company I like. So I wanted a little more information in order to qualify for this list. That disclaimer aside, I'm going to start with the top 5 Kickstarters that I'm looking forward to in 2020 with one honorable mention. The honorable mention goes to Frosthaven. Frosthaven, by the ever popular Gloomhaven Isaac Childress, who is Frosthaven is going to be the spiritual successor. I don't know if it's a spiritual successor. I think it's almost a straight up sequel or remake of Gloomhaven. It's going to be in the same style of gameplay, just another gigantic box. I have the big box. It's just easier to hold up in a video. And the reason that gets honorable mention as opposed to genuine excitement is I have played one mission of Gloomhaven so far. One. And yet, as we see, I already have the expansion because FOMO. So I have a hard time saying that I'm that excited about Frosthaven, and I don't think I'll back it. Assuming I can actually have some vestige of self-control left, I do not think I will back Frosthaven. It's a great system. The one play of Gloomhaven really pulled me in. It's just getting that right group of people has been a bit of a barrier to seeing if it hits the table. It's a big investment, and I have many other games that don't have that level of investment attached to it. So I am excited for it. I almost certainly will get it at some point. I almost certainly will get it before I go through Gloomhaven. But I feel, again, through that conservativeness of actually making better decisions with Kickstarters, I don't think I can back it. I don't think I can. I'm going to take a look. I'll keep an eye on it. If it blows me away in terms of what it's offering, what it's presenting, maybe I'll change my mind, but in good conscience, I just don't think I can back it, and I don't think I will back it as such. And this is also interesting because this is where I'm happy that Gloomhaven has a track record of going to retail and doing well in retail, but that track record in this case is going to be one of the reasons I'm not contributing, or I don't plan on contributing, because I know that it'll go to retail. I know that it'll hit the market. I don't have an element of FOMO here where I'm worried that if I don't back the Kickstarter, I won't get it, or I'll have to pay some huge secondary market pricing. I will get it. Maybe if the Kickstarter has exclusives that make it worth getting, that I'm worried about what the secondary market will look like, I'll change my mind. But again, as of right now, I don't plan on getting it, so that's why it gets an honorable mention. The number 5 spot goes to 7th Citadel. 7th Citadel, by the makers of 7th Continent, is another game that I have not nearly explored the amount of potential content there is available. I have 7th Continent, I have the expansion, What Comes Up Must Go Down, or what goes up, I don't remember, something like that. And I have played it more than once, fortunately. I've played 7th Continent a few times, and unlike Gloomhaven, a few times of 7th Continent means tens of hours under my belt, as opposed to Gloomhaven, it was 45 minutes to an hour. 7th Continent, I probably have a good 10 hours plus under my belt. I think I played it 3 times so far, which is not a lot, but it's a big game. It's a lot going on to it. The reason I expect to back that one as opposed to Frosthaven is, first of all, 7th Continent plays solo, and it plays solo very well. Gloomhaven, you could play solo, but 7th Continent plays solo very well. In fact, I think it's my preferred way of playing it, which means it's easier to get to the table. It doesn't have that barrier that Gloomhaven does, and therefore Frosthaven will as well. And so I can justify that decision knowing it will hit the table more often. And additionally, going back to my last point about Frosthaven, Seventh Continent does not necessarily have a track record of going to retail the same way. So there is that element of FOMO that if I want the system, if I like the system, I have to get it now or pay a huge markup later. I am not certain if I will be getting it. I'm not certain. I'm hoping I'll convince myself not to. Like I said, I have Seventh Continent, I have the expansions. I'm trying to be rational here, but I also have FOMO. We'll see how it plays out, but that is definitely one that I am excited for in 2020. The number 4 spot goes to Ankh. Ankh is, that's not true, sorry, number 3 is Ankh. The number 4 spot goes to Storm Sunder. Storm Sunder is a game by the makers of Wild Descent. Wild Descent is a Kickstarter I backed that I'm super excited about. I'm hoping it'll be a Kickstarter. I'm hoping it'll give me the feeling of Kingdom Death Monster without the theme of Kingdom Death Monster. The theme of Kingdom Death Monster never really did it for me. I'm totally fine with whoever does enjoy that theme. It's just the artwork, the theme, it just didn't call to me, and it's nothing to do with. I mean, yeah, it just didn't call to me. Let's save that for a different video. So when Wild Descent came out on Kickstarter and it looked like a Kingdom Death Light, both in terms of its accessibility, its theme, its actual gameplay, I was very intrigued, super excited for it, and I am reluctantly sucked into Storm Sunder. The pictures, the images, the theme of the game look absolutely captivating. I have zero real data to base my opinion on. All I know is the minis are from Arkane Studio, which has a track record of making okay games at best, and the publisher, Lazy Squire Games I think it is they have nothing under the belt to show their chops, so to speak. I'm just being sucked in by what I've seen. I have no rational opinion to base this off. I'm hoping I will get Wild Descent before Storm Sunder comes out, so at least I can say, oh look, they made a good game, assuming I get it to the table. But this is really a very emotional response of just being sucked into the world. Sorry for that. This is why I should mute all devices before starting a video. In any case, yeah, so Storm Sunder is just I'm being sucked in. All my growing up aside, all my making rational decisions about Frosthaven and Seventh Citadel, maybe I'll make a rational decision if Storm Sunder comes along, but as it stands right now, it looks too pretty. So sue me. This should be my biggest vice. Number 3, the number 3rd spot goes to Ankh by Simon Games. Ankh is a game that I am more excited about than the prior ones because I know I'm going to back it. Already, this is the first one on the list that is an absolute certainty. Unless they screw up beyond belief, I will be backing Ankh. And the reason for that is because my number 1 game of all time is Blood Rage. That's all the reason I need. The minis look gorgeous. The minis, I'm sure, will look absolutely gorgeous across the board. I love the Egyptian theme. Kemet is one of my favorite themes in terms of just visually looking at the game. Kemet is beautiful. Blood Rage was, like I said, it's my number 1 game, and this is by the same designer. This is in the same trilogy of games. The only reason it's not 1 or 2 on my list is because of Rising Sun. Rising Sun, while great, and while I'm sure I will continue to enjoy more if I get it to the table more, is a game that is also a spiritual successor to Blood Rage. I was super excited to get this one. I've played it twice. I've had it for 2 years now, or however long since it came out. I have played it 2 times, and the first week I got it, and then I kind of put it off to the side. I plan on playing it again. I want to get it to the table again. I haven't had the opportunity where that was the game of the week that we picked or whatnot. I mean, it's a big game to get to the table, and it really needs 4 or 5, preferably 5. And there are a lot of 5-player games vying for that spot. And we don't have 5 nearly as often as we have 3 and 4 in our game night. So Rising Sun is great. Ankh, I'd be more excited about Ankh if I actually felt that it was going to be Blood Rage as opposed to maybe it'll be Blood Rage. Maybe it'll end up in the top spot. I don't see a reason to believe it will or won't. Blood Rage is great. Rising Sun is good. I'll back it. I'll see how it goes. The good news about Simon Games is they tend to hold their value. I'm not saying I'll profit off it, but at the very least I can probably ensure that it holds its value. Plus, and this is a big one, Rising Sun has only hit the table twice for my game night, but every 3 to 4 weeks, reliably, my kids take it out and play with the minis. My kids, that is one of their favorite games. I generally let them play with the minis. Thankfully, we've had very, very few actual things broken, but my kids love playing with the minis in my games, and it helps me justify keeping it. They're enjoying it. They're involving themselves in this world. They really have fun. So if either one of those is true, if either I enjoy it or if my kids enjoy it, it'll be worth it. But that is why Ankh is my number 3 most anticipated Kickstarter. I'm hoping it'll be amazing. Speaking frankly, the fact that they have all the minis done, but the gameplay seems to be vague and lacking, and the art, everything else is just, it looks like they showed a box cover and a bunch of minis. I mean, that's marketing. That's what they're doing, what they need to do. But at the same time, it is not the highest degree of confidence inspiring that it'll be amazing. My second most anticipated Kickstarter of 2020 is Arena the Contest. I believe it's something to do with dragons. Arena, the dragon box, or the dragon something. I don't remember the exact name, but they're marketing it as a whole bunch of dragons plus expansion content. Arena the Contest is it was in my top 20 games of all time. The very top. It hasn't made its way up, but I think it will. It's a great game. It's an incredible experience. It's just fun. It's simple to teach, very accessible. They're focusing, in this campaign, they're going to be focusing more on the co-op and the solo play. Co-op and solo. So as opposed to before, I think it was more of a PvP plus co-op and solo. They're really going to be focusing on this one, and I'm looking forward to that. But additionally, they're also redoing all the minis in the game, which I'm super excited about. The minis in this game are terrible. Compared to the games I have now, I mean, it hurts me. I have games from Arkane Studio on my shelf that have amazing minis and mediocre gameplay, and I have Arena of the Contest that has amazing gameplay and mediocre minis. Fortunately, it looks like they'll be fixing that with this next Kickstarter, so I can get the best of both worlds and finally trade away those Arkane games that I haven't actually played yet, but maybe I will. We'll see. Anyways, Arena of the Contest is my second most anticipated Kickstarter from 2020. Because I have a reason to. In fact, this really should be number 1, honestly, and we'll get to this. This should be number 1. It should be. By all accounts, it's a great game system. I like the game. I'm actually playing the game. I plan on going through the content. I almost certainly will, unlike 7th Continent or Gloomhaven, where I don't know when or if I will. This should be number 1. But number 1 is an emotional pick. It's an emotional pick, and it is what it is. Number 1 is Marvel United by CMON Games. I am so hyped about this game, I can't even tell you. So the reason is, number 1, again, it's emotional. I don't know anything about the game. They haven't released anything about the gameplay. It is almost certainly an insta-back because CMON Games hold their value, and I'm excited for the theme of the game. I love the chivis. I did not like Arcadia Quest, sadly. I thought Arcadia Quest was good. It was totally fine, but good isn't good enough, unfortunately. And Arcadia Quest was not a game that stayed in my collection, but I missed the minis. I thought that this gameplay style, that's another one. My kids missed the minis too. They really like those chibi style minis, and I don't have any other games with that style of minis or artwork. So I want the chibi artwork, and I want it in a game I'll actually play. And this is CMON. I mean, CMON, one of my favorite games right now, possibly might make its way to my favorite game of all time. We'll see. But Cthulhu Death May Die, absolutely loving this. It is my most recent CMON game, and I think it's my 3rd favorite as of right now, but I can easily see it rising. It is so much fun every time I play it, and that does remind me that CMON hasn't thrown in the towel. They haven't just said, hey, let's make good minis and a mediocre game. Let's actually make good games, because in the long run, those good games make more money. On Kickstarter, the minis are all that matter. In the long run, when it goes to retail, Cthulhu Death May Die is a game that I am sure there will be another edition on Kickstarter. I'm sure it's going to be another Zombicide with Season 2, Season 3. And I'm sure of that, not because they just want to make money, but because it's a good game. People like this game. They're excited. They're enjoying it. They're having a lot of fun. And those games will make more money in the long run. So CMON has not thrown in the towel. This is a cooperative game. I love cooperative games with minis. It's just a lot of fun. It's much easier to get a co-op game to the table with my wife, with my kids. There's something incredible about competitive games you cannot get from a co-op, which is why Blood Rage is my favorite game, as opposed to Cthulhu Death May Die. Just that tenseness, I love it. But for sheer fun, I mean, you can't beat a bunch of dudes on a map, leveling up your characters, having a blast. There is so much they can do with Marvel United. There is so much they can do, and there's so much they might not do, which is the sad part. There's so much, they might have their hands tied, it might be constricted based on whatever rules they have in place. It may not be able to do what I want them to do. But I am super excited about Marvel United, and I'm just more excited than Arena of the Contest, even though Arena of the Contest should really be up there on that list. Anyways, that's it. Those are my top Kickstarters that I'm looking forward to in 2020. This video is brought to you by Board Game Co. Come to our site, boardgameco.com. Go ahead and buy something. You know, if there's a little mailing list at the bottom, you can sign up, get 10% off your first order, trade with us, whatever you want. We're here for your gaming needs. That's basically it. You can like this video, you can subscribe, you can watch another video. I'm Alex, and remember, good isn't good enough.